and welcome back to Blue Tinted Glasses. Today I'm joined by Josh from Sportser. I'm sure you guys know exactly what his channel is and who he is. Josh, we're here to review the match. Leicester City 1, Aston Villa 2, another 2-1 defeat.
Yeah.
I'm guessing you were at the game. What did you make to it, mate? Let's start first half. What did you think to the first half?
Seems to be the same odd, doesn't it? First off, trying sitting back. I think the first half against Villa is probably one of the better first halves we've had. If you look at all the games, obviously we didn't score, but I thought we offered a bit more of a threat towards the end. But then again, we didn't really offer too much. We're trying to sit in. Obviously Villa had a few chances first off. Hermanson made a few good saves from the chances from Watkins. Obviously we conceded the goal. It was a free kick or not. We still defended it quite poorly. So yeah. I'd say pretty poor again, but slightly better. But it's not a good pattern to keep conceding first, is it?
Not at all, mate. I mean, we've just done a live on Josh's channel, so go and check that out after this. But if you haven't watched it already, but I mentioned that I don't like moaning about the referees after the game. But I do want to talk about one thing, which was the skip foul, which obviously then was a free kick given, which it was a well worked free kick by Villa to score the opener. What did you think to it? I mean, it was Skip's dodgy touch that led to us losing the ball anyway. I thought it was a fair tackle, but I kind of understand it was hard. It's one of them in it where he kind of went in from behind. I think his foot went in from the side, but he went in from behind. So do you think it was just, a 50-50? Do you think, are you that bothered about it? Or do you think the referee was shocking, with that one?
At the game, I think we all thought the referee was shocking. I thought I had a pretty good view of it. I was right in front of it, and I didn't think it was a foul at all. How was a yellow? I don't know, but I'll be honest. I haven't watched it back on playback, so I may be wrong. But just from watching it in the flesh, I don't really get how that is a foul. Yes, he's got kind of coming from the back and the side, but he's won the ball quite cleanly. I can see why it's been given. Obviously, the referee may have had a difficult view of it. He's come through the back and obviously he's slided. So I can see why it's given, but personally, I really don't think it's a foul.
Yeah, it's one of them. Obviously, VAR obviously can't get involved. But
pointless.
Well, yeah, if they started getting involved for stuff like that, we'd all be going mad because it would be like stop, start every couple of minutes. Is anyone to blame for the first goal, do you think, or do you agree it was just well worked and that was it? Just one of them.
I wouldn't pick on any individuals, but I think as a collective, you probably should. I don't know. It's tough to win it. It was a really good set piece routine. I kind of like had two players running through, and then obviously you found Onana in the middle. So it's always difficult to defend them, pull back crosses as well. But yeah, I think collectively the whole team should have been a bit more switched on. Hermanson wasn't happy with it after it, but yeah, I don't really think you could blame a certain player for that.
Yeah, I'd agree, mate. After probably I'd say 40 minutes, 35 minutes onwards, we seemed to be the better team. We controlled the game well, which I think was Steve Cooper's thought of having the three midfielders who, were defensive midfielders basically. I know they were in different positions, but they're three defensive midfielders. And then the goal came. They just made a couple of changes, mate. I mean, for me, that again is another kind of thing that goes against the manager in my eyes, that, he wasn't proactive enough. He didn't make the changes until it was too late. Duran, it is a threat. He's a good player. Do you blame... I don't want to blame the manager for the goal, obviously, but do you feel like the reason we didn't capitalize on the bit of domination that we did have was because of the manager and the lack of changes?
I think slightly, yeah. I think everyone can say that game was crying out for someone with creativity. I think the three defensive midfielders give Leicester the platform to get into them areas, but they just don't have the ability, especially someone like Wilfred and Diddy, to get that ball, play that final ball to someone out wide, someone to Ayew, Vardy, Fatawu, etc. And yeah, Leicester just didn't capitalise on that. Obviously, Villa, just like you said, they made the changes. They got an instant response. They made it 2-0. And from then, it's always going to be difficult to get anything out of it, especially against a top team like that.
Well, obviously that they scored the goal. We don't need to talk about that too much, but we got one back after the changes were made. Facundo Buonanotte was on the pitch. Bilal El Khanous was on the pitch. Obviously, Mavididi, let's talk about him quickly because, we've been calling out for him to come into the team. Bobby De Cordova-Reid in the opening 2 games was very just average, I think. He works hard and all of this, but when he gets in those one-on-one positions and you want him to take on a man, he can't do it as efficiently as Mavididi. So he obviously came on, made an instant impact. He didn't get the assist because Ndidi got it. But were you impressed with him when he came on? Were you impressed with obviously setting that goal up, basically?
Yeah, definitely. If he don't start against Palace, well, God knows. It's just what Mavididi does, and it didn't really surprise me either because we saw it loads last season. Obviously, well, he wasn't consistent last season, but same with every player. But he runs at people, he's direct. He took on the fullback for the first time, puts a good cross in. Obviously, like you said, it wasn't officially his assist, but it pretty much is. Yeah, them type of balls always cause problems. Gets to the byline, and similar to Villa, they made a few subs. Duran came on, scored in a matter of minutes. Leicester made the subs, and we get our goal in a matter of minutes as well. So it's just some small details, and if that was the other way around, potentially we could be talking about a point or maybe even 3 points for Leicester.
What did you think to Ayew though? Obviously, because Ayew started out there. I mean, I do like him in the way that I think he's a very smart player. He's a very smart player in terms of winning fouls. That's one. Putting his body about. I do like him, and I think he, as soon as he signed, you look at his profile, you look at his kind of statistics and all of this, and you look at him as maybe a different profile, a different type of forward. What did you make to him? Because that was his first start or his
full
first
start, wasn't it? Or first Premier League start, yeah.
Yeah, what did you think to him?
For me, it's tough with Ayew because at times, he did the right thing. At times, he seems to get past his man, and then didn't really get the ball. But is that really his fault? I don't know. Because obviously we're playing with the 3 defensive midfielders. I think at times his tracking back wasn't great, but I think that's been a case for the whole team in terms of transition. We seem to be it seems to be hard work for us to shuffle from one side to the pitch to the other. I remember Villa had the ball in the first half one side, and a few passes later they got it deep in our own half on the opposite side, and it's just them little details again which has been costing us because so far this season we have looked quite poor in transition. But in terms of Ayew, I thought he was fairly average, but just like I said, was it his fault for not finding the end product? I don't really know. Didn't really have anyone to go to instead of really going back or playing the easy ball.
Yeah, well, I hear you, mate. I mean, the goal scorer for Facundo Buonanotte, obviously, it fell to him on a plate. But you mentioned Mavididi needs to start. Does Facundo need to start as well against Palace? You think is he a no-brainer?
100%. He's a little baller, and if that ball comes up, if say Ndidi's there, is Ndidi on the end of that? I don't know. Obviously, he got the ball initially, but let's say someone else got it. Is Ndidi going to be there finishing that? Will he slice it into Rose head? Probably. So, yeah, I think Facundo's got to start. Against Fulham, he wasn't too good, but I still liked his performance against Fulham because he gets to the ball, he takes a few risks, and the pass may not come off all the time, but the one time it does come off, he got a good chance of it resulting in a goal because Leicester have players who can score goals, and we've seen that so far this season. So, yeah, I think Facundo is got to start, and if he came on a bit earlier in that Villa game where we even started, could have potentially been a different result.
I said it on your channel, the body language across the whole pitch, every player, but for a lone player, I don't know, well, you would have seen it. He went mad when he scored that goal. He went absolutely nuts, and that's always a positive because, of course, some lone players probably don't really care too much. They don't, but I think we've got a good lone player in him because despite him probably never going to play for Leicester again after this season because his price tag is just going to go through the roof. He's hungry because he wants to go back to Brighton in the summer and be looked at by Brighton as a starter for them. And I think he's good enough. I mean, he started quite a few games last season, I think, when there was injuries and he played a lot of minutes. But I think this season is his breakthrough, if you like, because he's going to play a lot of games. Well, he should, if Cooper is smart. He's going to play a lot of games, and hopefully, he goes back. I'm sure if he does well for us, even though he's not going to come back to Leicester, we'll follow his career and say, he's a good one. So yeah, obviously he scored that, and then we just couldn't get an equaliser, mate. I mean,
No.
at the end of the game, it seemed like we just threw the kitchen sink. I think was McAteer on at one. McAteer was on.
Yeah, I think so.
Who else was on? There was well, obviously Bilal was on. There was somebody. Who else was on?
I think Declan Reid came on, didn't he?
Yes, Declan Reid. And we kind of had like just a two back, I think, at one point. I felt we forced it towards the end. I just felt we were, like under Enzo, we were quite, we were very patient. I just feel like we were forcing it a little bit too much and couldn't get an equaliser at all. Is there what did you make of that, or did you just think they were just too good defensively, they kept us out?
Probably a bit of both, yeah. I don't mind as being direct, because it is my biggest pet peeve when it's like 90+2 and you're dithering around with it on, playing from the back. So yeah, I understand it. Obviously, you want to build up like normal. That's probably your best chance of scoring. Obviously, Leicester didn't really have anyone with much height up there, apart from maybe someone like Ndidi. But yeah, it's one of them really. I still don't know how Ricardo didn't come on for someone like Justin. I don't really get that at all. But yeah, I think Leicester had a good go at it, but nothing really fell. So we had a few calls towards the end. We were trying to get a penalty. I don't think it was a penalty, or I think it was offside actually. But yeah, it's one of them really. Nothing really dropped. We had a few crosses. Villa cleared it. At times they got a bit fortunate. I think Pau Torres had one which bounced off Onana's leg, I think it was, and on another day that maybe comes to our player. But yeah, it's one of them. We had a few pop shots from long range, and yeah, it's just never going in. It's always going to be difficult to beat someone like Martinez as well, even if Leicester had like a good clear-cut chance.
If you had to pick a man of the match for Leicester, I ask this every week to whoever I've got on. I'd give it a Coley myself. Yeah. He made a mistake. He's made a mistake in every game he's played for us, but I think he was solid. And coming on for your Premier League debut, starting debut, I think that's quite impressive. I think he was quite solid. So yeah, what did you think? Your man of the match?
Yeah, it's boring, but I probably have to agree. I honestly thought it was very good. Coming up in your first Premier League game against someone like Watkins, I know he had a few chances in behind, but I thought overall did well. And even Duran, obviously, he did goal. But apart from that, he was very physical. I like the way he's aggressive in terms of his play, and he didn't seem to be too slow either. So I thought all in all, he was pretty good. I liked him on the ball as well. He looked to try and move it across quite quickly. I did see. I thought that watching it, because someone like Faz and Justin seemed very comfortable playing it back to Hermanson, but Akoli, I know it's only a simple thing, but he's very adamant on playing the ball across field just to get us going a bit more. So yeah, I think he's going to become a good player. I think pre-season was a bit shaky, but we said it a few minutes ago. I think he's got his national team call up now, which is only going to benefit him in terms of confidence as well. So yeah, I thought overall he had a good start, and he's going to be banging on the door to start against Palace now.
Yeah, I mean, I love being proved wrong on Leicester City, and I thought Akoli was a stinker after pre-season, but he was solid, and I think he was okay against Tranmere as well, of course. Just now, please, Steve Cooper, prove me wrong, because I hate you. No, I don't hate you, but I just think you're getting a lot of things wrong. So hopefully he proves me wrong. Yeah, literally, mate. The last question I was going to ask you, actually, because I forgot to ask it earlier, what did you think to Winks? Because I thought he was very, I don't know, just. I mean, I read the Leicester Mercury earlier, or the Leicester Live, and they were doing player ratings, and they gave Winks like an 8 or something, and I was like, what? Like, and so what? I don't know. What did you make to it? I feel like with Winks, he can. I think last year, obviously, he was so important to the system. He was so vital, but I feel like he struggled a little bit this season.
Yeah, I think Winks is one of them. He kind of just goes under the radar, really. I don't think he was poor. I don't think he was excellent. I think it's kind of just a normal Winks performance in there. So obviously, alongside Skippy, I thought it was quite good on a different hand. But yeah, I think in terms of Harry Winks, he's all right. Obviously, he's not going to be winning the ball. He's not that physical type of player. Obviously, coming against someone like Onana in midfield is always going to be difficult for him physically. But yeah, I thought Winks was just average, really. I don't know why he's been given an 8.
Yeah. I was crazy, just like, what's that? Yeah. All right, mate. Well, cheers for jumping on. Tell everyone where you can, where they can find you and what you've got coming up on the channel. Because I know there's obviously now a break, isn't there? So what's going on?
Yeah, you can find me over at Sportser on YouTube for more Leicester City content. To be fair, I might have a little few days off. Maybe it's been a bit hectic, hasn't it, with all these games, the deadline day and whatnot. But yeah, I think I'll be doing some in-depth reviews on some of the players we have brought in over the summer, and then obviously looking forward to Palace, which will be the next game. A few matchday vlogs as well from the away games as well, which are always interesting. Hopefully, we can get a few wins on the board there as well.
Lovely stuff. Thanks to everyone for watching. Like I said, hit the like button, hit subscribe. Also, of course, go to Josh's channel and hit subscribe on there if you haven't already. I'm sure a lot of you already have. So, and then yeah, I'll be back in a couple of days. Probably I'll make a video on something, so there'll be something out very soon. So yeah, thanks again, everyone. Cheers to you, Josh, as well, mate. And I'll see you next time. Cheers.